everybody, so I'm coming to you with this video. It's going to be going over dungun with a partner. That way you guys can see a little bit more about how my ideas on the application of this form would actually work against a human being. I'm going to be giving you a couple different ways that you can drill it and flow through all the techniques in the form with a partner. One's a little bit more basic, one, a little bit more movement from the other partners needed, and then you can flow it on both sides. So we're going to break it down, kind of go over each of the techniques of the form real fast, show them. We're going to show the drills following that. Hopefully you guys find them useful. Okay, so we're going to be starting out with the first two techniques of the form, and that's what we have: the knife hand guarding block, pseudo block, right? And this version that we do normally is done out with this chambers. Lots of the time you see the chambers going all the way back and then moving all the way forward. Whereas when you kind of look at more old school Taekwondo, at least under my lineage, it tended to be more at 45 degrees instead of going straight back. I've talked about it before, but essentially that's just a way to come in wrapping up the arm. Once you wrap the arm, you're striking into the neck, pushing the head away with the face rake, and then striking. So the way that that effectively looks, and also we can think of this form and all these techniques, I'm not going to be doing them off of she punches me, I block it, and then try to strike her. We're really trying to think of more of a preemptive action into all these techniques, right? So a good way to think of it is I take my hand, I'm shooting a shot real fast to hit her, and if I don't hit her at first and she blocks it, she's now giving me the arm that I'm allowed to use, right? I give her a gift, she reaches out and takes it, so now I can use that effectively, okay? So again, this is gonna look like so. I reach out and I get that first strike. If she blocks it, I'm going to use my chamber. One, high-fiving at the hand, wrapping this arm out, going to 90 degrees of my partner, wrapping at the elbow, striking in at the neck. Okay. From this position, I can brace, and if she tries to move into me and anything, I can keep it there for a quick second until I face rake her to push her away. Once I'm in this position, I can go ahead and step through with that full power strike right to the back of the ear. And that's how it looks for the first technique. Okay, now we're looking at the second technique, right? And that's going to be after you do the pseudo block punch over to the right hand side, you get the down block, stepping forward, punch. And those are all 3 head level punches moving forward. So we're going to be taking that down block, punch. And we're looking at that as a very simple way that you can get from the front of your opponent onto the back of the opponent, right? Which is just a really important skill. I don't want to stay in front of her if I can help it. As much as I can, I want to be off at an angle, and even better is for me to be off at the angle as well as behind her arm. This just gives me lots of good options. It keeps me safe. Okay, so again, you can think about it as I did that first preemptive strike, and if she blocks it in time, right, then I can go ahead and take that arm, I wrap and strike. Now, assume maybe I strike here, and the first thing is they move back, right, and they kind of move away from this. I can very simply follow up with that second strike, okay? Maybe assuming they're not running away, maybe they just backed away for just a second, they flinch back. Go ahead and move forward just a bit. I take this hand, I'm going to bring it down to the elbow, and I'm going to perform a down block. At the same time, I want to turn my belly so I face her and I'm angled towards her. So not just here, right, because I'm still almost in front of her. I want to go ahead and use my footwork and my arm motion to really create a good angle. Now I'm off at 90 degrees to her. From this position, I got a couple options. I wrap through. I can press against her body to keep it trapped, face wipe, and then strike. If it looks a little faster, it might be closer to here. I wrap it down and just kind of keep control of the arm as best you can wherever it goes and strike. Okay? So that's what it looks like for the down block, step through, head level punch. All right, now we're going to be moving on to the third sequence of the form. So we're going to be looking at the square blocks, stepping forward into a head level punch. So we can really easily take this off of once I have gotten behind my opponent, right? I'm back here, I can use it. A good way that you can think about it more preemptively is if I shot in that shot, instead of moving onto the inside here, right? Or maybe I shot in that first initial shot, and she's blocking it more in. She's going to be parrying it across her body, right? Maybe you get one of these, okay? Now, regardless of how you got the arm, what I'm going for is I'm going to wrap underneath, bringing it up, taking this hand, and I'm going to rake it across, okay? The chamber of the form is cross and then back up. So I'm going to rake it over top, and then after that rake and the step through, I can get her head moving forward. So it'll look like this, boom. From there, I take this hand. It's important that I wrap it underneath now. That way I can have access to the jaw. I'm gonna lift the arm and strike, okay? Since I can feel the head, I'm gonna go ahead and follow through. I'm gonna follow this motion of the arm. After I strike, I let it go. I pass it over my head and go ahead and press into the face. That way I can have my next follow-up shot. All right, now we're gonna be looking at the fourth sequence of the form. So following our square blocks, punches to the head, we have the down block, upper block sequence. So a really good way to just look at that is if I'm in front of the opponent, as in directly in front of them, which I don't want to be, but if I am. And you can take it off the context of the last one that we did. I just shot in the jaw, I brought it around, boom, I got that first strike. If she's still standing, maybe I missed that first strike. I take this hand, I drop it in right here to the arm, just like my down block, and then I perform my upper block, okay? I'm really trying to get right there underneath the jaw. If I get the side of the head, it's still gonna hurt. And it gives me a really good position where I can hook and move her through and move on to the next part of the form, right? So I'm here, I drop her forward and strike in. And that's gonna be the fourth sequence of the form. All right, moving on to the last one. This is the fifth sequence of the form. I've talked about it in my previous video on dungun, but you know, in our style of Taekwondo, we have the pseudo block like the regular version, kind of coming at that 45-degree angle, really targeting towards the neck, or the sides of the neck, I should say. The other version we have is the side pseudo block, right? And this one looks a little bit closer to like the Shuto Uki in karate, except for instead of having the hand open, we're gonna go ahead and have it closed. The strike comes out, and it's going to be straight, coming horizontally, as the other arm pulls back and gets that nice pulling hand, right? So a good way that you can look at this is instead of striking at the sides of the neck, it's just showing you a way that you can target the very back of the neck, more like towards the spine, very back of the head, right? So once I have gotten the arm, right, and this could be done off of a shot in, I take the arm, and maybe I didn't get control of the wrist. Maybe I'm a little farther. Maybe I'm here. So from this position, I take this hand, I strike in, right in the back of the neck, okay? If this doesn't drop her down all the way where I can start moving into the next techniques, and I just get that first strike, and she starts turning to face me, again, you move right back into that face wipe for your aim, and then once I feel her head, I step through with the full power strike. Again, you can think of this, you can combine it with the previous technique of I brought her down and up once I'm in front of her, and then in order to get off to the side, after I hit her up, I take this hand, I angle off, striking down now, and kind of hooking the head if I needed to, and I can move into other techniques. If she still faces me, I can face wipe, stepping through and striking. All right, well, I hope those kind of basic broken down applications are making sense for you guys. We're gonna go ahead and move into a couple different partner drills that you can do as flow drills. And a lot of the time when people think flow drills, they're thinking, you know, one partner's doing something, the other partner's doing something. One version that we have is just gonna be one partner practicing, going through all the techniques of the form in a very quick, easy way. You know, these aren't the perfect ways or right ways, these are just a way to practice all the applications in a really quick and easy way. The other version, it does allow the partner that's being worked on to throw in a few shots, just to give the other partner an idea of, after I strike, I gotta be able to transition and maybe stop a strike and flow on to the next side and create a new angle. So starting off with the very first drill, go ahead and start from like a preemptive strike like we talked about. So I shoot in that first one, I'm gonna take this hand high-fiving, wrapping, striking. From right here, I push the head, step through, and strike. Now in practice, I'll do a full-on lunge. In the drill, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a, kind of like a walking stance, like you see in plenty of other styles of Taekwondo or karate. So we get that almost walking stance, I get that first strike. From right here, notice I have my hand still on the target. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna wrap it down, aim, punch. From here, I'm on the outside of my partner, so I'm gonna angle off and drag her down. So I bring her chin to where I can reach it. Boom, striking at the chin. From this position, keeping contact with the face and striking in right here. From here, I'm in the front of my partner. I'm gonna take this elbow, I'm gonna strike in and then bring it right back up. And then for the last part, I'm still controlling the wrist. I'm gonna take this hand and I'm gonna step over and strike the back of the neck. The partner's lifting up the face. I face wipe it away, and I'll step in and strike again, just from a little bit of a longer distance. So this one I might actually get a full-on front stance. So that's drill one, a little bit more fluid. It was gonna look like this. So we start off on this strike, we move in, striking, face wipe, strike. Bringing it back, striking. Bringing her forward so I can hit under the chin, wrapping through, striking, bringing her back forward, striking right here, moving to the angle, and if she looks back at me, I go ahead and face wipe, and I'll strike in like so. Okay, now if you are able to get that first one, it's a good idea to move on to drill two. This allows the partner to throw a couple of shots in during the drill. It allows you to also kind of start thinking about they do have that other hand. So it's important to get the angles correct and how you're shifting your body to keep as far away from the other hand, that dangerous hand. I'm not controlling it, I don't know where it is, I don't know what it's doing, so I don't want to be near it if I can help it. So here's how the next drill looks. Again, let's have you move forward. Off that preemptive strike, I get that first one. High-fiving, moving through 45 degrees, and then striking in, controlling at the elbow. I push the face, strike in. From here, just as the last drill, I'm gonna take this arm, pushing it back away, and then striking, okay? Now I'm controlling this arm, but after I did this strike, she starts swinging in this backhand to hit me, okay? So what I'm gonna do from there is I'm gonna stop it, I'm gonna redirect it over my head, and I'm gonna cross my arms, right? I pull through, sliding this leg back, and now I get to rake across these nerves for these square blocks. So it's like the uppercut to the chin. So I'm gonna go boom, to bring her head forward, lifting, and then getting that strike underneath. Maintaining the feeling and this touch with the face, I lift the arm over, stepping through, and striking. From this position, same as the last one, I'm gonna go ahead and bring her forward and strike up again. Now on this strike, from right here, I'm gonna go ahead and take, or she's gonna go ahead and take this arm, she's gonna swing in another strike at me. I'm gonna go ahead and take it here, okay? Wrapping a little longer, a little farther away this time, striking to the back of the neck, and then I'm gonna go ahead and face wipe one more time and strike. So again, the entire drill, a little bit more fluid, it's gonna look like this. Face wipe, strike. Moving to the outside, strike. She swings in her shot, I block, I bring it forward, I strike. Keeping contact, strike. Bring her in, hit her again, she swings in her shot, I'm gonna stop, wrapping across, I'm gonna strike in, she looks at me again, face wipe, and I'll go ahead and strike. Okay guys, I hope that was useful for you, and I hope you'll be able to work on a couple of those drills and practice them with the partner. As always, go really slow when you're working on these. Take your time, learn the techniques, practice with control. Eventually you can, I'll try to do some of these drills with some pads, that way your partner and you guys can practice actually hitting targets. In the meantime, if you want to see some stuff like that, you can go check out, loads and loads of martial artists on YouTube. I can definitely recommend Andy Allen as one of them. Ian Abernathy is a good one where you guys can go check out their karate drills, but they're incredibly similar and basically the same as our Korean karate or the the taekwondo that I practice at least. So go ahead and take some inspiration from those in the meantime until I get some of the other videos put up, and we'll see you next time.